guys, Adult Services Librarian Grace. I am back for our weekly Wednesday book talk. We're here every Wednesday talking about some titles from our collection that we think you'll enjoy. And if you're looking for recommendations for other ages, head over to our Youth Services Facebook page. We have weekly book talks there as well for kids birth all the way up through high school. I'm going to dive right in. Our first title is actually a young adult title. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is a great book. It's probably one of my my new favorite books that I've read in the past 2 or 3 years even. And it's just amazing. It's a fantasy title, so you have Zaylee is the main character, well, one of the main characters, I should say. We hear from several different perspectives throughout the novels, but there's a sequel that's just come out. But I think I would consider her the main character. She's a magi, which is a magical being, a magical person, and there were many of these people, but their magical abilities were seen as dangerous, threatening to the monarchy. So several years back, the king conducted a raid and killed many of these people, including Zaylee's mother. And magic doesn't really exist anymore as a result. They don't practice it. They don't teach it to the children the way that they used to. So they know it's part of their history and their heritage, these younger magi, but they don't consider it something that's an active part of who they are. And at a pretty early point in the book, Zaylee has the opportunity to bring magic back. It's going to require some work. She has to kind of go on this journey. She has to let other people help her along that way, including the princess, the king's daughter. The king is the one who sort of, killed all of these people and tried to get rid of magic. And his own daughter is one of the people who's trying to fight to bring it back. So there's definitely a lot of conflict. There's definitely, it's fantasy, but it sort of mirrors some things that have happened in, true history in a really interesting and sad way, but it's really powerfully done. So I highly recommend this book. Even if you're not a fantasy fan, it truly doesn't feel like fantasy. Everything that you're reading seems just totally believable, including their magical abilities. And like I said, there's a sequel just out recently, so I highly recommend this one, Children of Blood and Bone. The second title I have is very different. This one is definitely just more realistic. I almost consider this kind of a romance, but it's not your traditional romance. It's more of a friendship romance. It's called the Lido. It's by Libby Page. The Lido is an outdoor pool in this community in England, and Rosemary, this older woman, has been going there for years. Since World War II. She went there as a young woman. She went there as an adult after her husband died. It was a place that helped bring her, comfort and community. And Kate, the other main character, is a young woman who is writing about the closing of the Lido for her local paper. So, very quickly, Kate realizes that the real story here is Rosemary. Her connection to this place, the people in the community are what make the Lido what it is. So it's sort of the blooming of their friendship and their relationship over generations, between people who are, coming from very different backgrounds with different histories and looking for different things in a friendship, but sort of discovering that they maybe needed each other all along. It was just a really beautiful story of friendship, of women coming together. And it's, like I said, it feels very romantic, even though it's primarily a friendship, although there is a little bit of a traditional romance element as well. But I highly recommend this one. Me and a coworker both really loved this book, The Lido by Libby Page. All right, the last one I have is a nonfiction title, and it's a super fun one. It is a cookbook and memoir in one. So not only are you getting his story, but you're getting his recipes. This is called L.A. Sun by Choi. Roy is a chef in Los Angeles. He actually has restaurants all over the country, but he's originally known as a chef, and then he consulted on the movie Chef with Jon Favreau, and he was the one who sort of taught them how to make it realistic that they were working in this food truck. And they became friends. They now have a TV show on Netflix called Chef Show. They teach you how to cook different things. Celebrity guests stop by. And he's made appearances on a ton of other travel and cooking shows that I've seen. So I sort of discovered him that way. And then I read this book and learned his story. And it's just kind of amazing. He wasn't great in school. He was getting into trouble. He's the son of Korean immigrants. So he always sort of wondered where he belonged. And older than most people would discover maybe their life's calling, he went to culinary school. And so it's sort of his journey in coming out of a bad situation, learning about himself, learning how to make the most of his life, and now he's super successful. He's still really down to earth and authentic. His recipes bring together his Korean culture and his LA culture. So you have these sort of merging of these Southwestern and Korean flavors, but then there's this American twist. The food is great, the recipes are great, and then his story is really powerful and sort of inspiring as well. I actually borrowed this one from the library and then ended up purchasing it. You can see there's no stickers. So this is my personal copy. So it's a great one to sit down and read. Like I said, you're going to get the actual kind of memoir as you go along. And it reads, like any traditional biography would, but then it's sort of interspersed with recipes for things like pizza, but really good pizza. So LA Sun by Choi. All right, those are my books for this week. We'll be back next week with some titles that we recommend. If you're looking for something specific, head over to our Facebook page or our website, where we have a feature called Discover Your Next Read, and we can make some recommendations based on things that you've enjoyed recently or things that you didn't. And then you can always stop into the library. We're open 6 days a week, and we're happy to help you find something if you're looking for something new, or if you just want to browse and just discover something. So thanks. We'll see you soon.